He only got the pet cam because I kept complaining the dog seemed anxious. Ironic, right? That the thing meant to calm everyone down ended up blowing up my entire life. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's rewind. I'm Talia, I'm 30, and yes, I had an affair. Not proud of it, not trying to spin it, but if you're here to call me a monster, you can click out. I'm not telling this for your approval. I'm telling it because no one, literally no one, has asked me why. Everyone just saw the footage and assumed I was evil. They forgot I was also miserable. Because Max, my boyfriend of 4 years, he was a good guy. Stable, smart, a planner. One of those men who buys a 5-year calendar and actually uses it. We had a life, a routine. Groceries on Sundays, tacos on Tuesdays, sex once a week, maybe, and a calendar invite for every major holiday. And emotionally, he wasn't there. Like, ever. Not for me. He was around, I'll give him that, always physically present, on the couch, on work calls, in bed. But emotionally, the man was made of cardboard. I could tell him I had a meltdown at work, and his response would be, "Did you talk to HR?" No hug, no eye contact, just a spreadsheet suggestion and a nod. I was lonely. Inside my own relationship. Cue Tyler. Tyler was a project manager from another office who started flying in for quarterly reviews. He was nothing special on paper. Mid-30s, divorced, loud laugh, always 5 minutes late to Zooms. But he saw me. And I don't mean that in the romantic movie kind of way. I mean, he noticed when I got a haircut. He remembered my favorite coffee. He asked questions. Once, during a break in a meeting, I mentioned I was exhausted because Max had been pulling all-nighters and we hadn't connected in weeks. Tyler didn't make a joke. He just looked at me and said, "That must feel really lonely." That one sentence hit harder than 4 years of routine ever had. So, yeah, we started texting. First, it was harmless. Work stuff, memes, inside jokes about our horrible shared supervisor. Then came the late-night texts. Then the phone calls. Then a drink after work, where he didn't even try anything. He just listened, asked about my goals, my fears, what I wanted in 10 years. The kind of questions Max used to ask when we were new. I didn't plan to sleep with him. And when I did, it wasn't even that good. But it was alive. Messy, emotional, real. Not something scheduled between brushing teeth and feeding the dog. We met 3 times over 6 weeks. Always at my place when Max was working late, Reed gaming with his headset on while claiming he was reviewing procurement contracts. I thought I was smart. I deleted messages, set Tyler's name in my phone to Sophie HR. We even joked about how careful I was, how I was better at cheating than most guys. Until the pet cam. Max had ordered it a month ago, installed it in the living room, synced it to his phone. He said it was for the dog to make sure she wasn't barking all day, to monitor if she got anxious when we were gone. What he didn't tell me was that it had a motion sensor, and a microphone, and live feed access. So, that night, the night it all burned, Tyler came over again. We weren't even doing anything scandalous yet, just sitting on the couch talking, laughing. He kissed me. I kissed back. And that's when Max messaged me. "Smile for the camera." I froze. My heart stopped. I looked at the TV, nothing. The laptop, closed. But then I saw it. The small black lens tucked into the bookshelf, blinking. "Max?" Timer asked. And then my phone started blowing up. Calls, notifications, Instagram. Max had started a live stream, using the pet cam feed. And people were watching.
"Turn it off," I whispered. Tyler blinked. Turn what off? The fucking camera, I hissed, already moving. I yanked the pet cam from the shelf like it burned me and threw it across the room. It hit the floor with a hollow crack and skidded under the coffee table. Tyler still didn't get it. Wait, your boyfriend has access to that? No, he had access to it, I snapped, grabbing my phone. And that's when I saw it. Live, 347 viewers, at Max Reed Legal. Caption, "She said I was cold. Watch how she warmed up to this guy." My stomach flipped. He'd gone live with the footage of us, laughing, flirting, kissing. I felt like I'd stepped out of my body, watching it all from the ceiling. I wasn't in control anymore. This wasn't private. This wasn't containable. This was public fucking execution. I called him. Straight to voicemail. Texted. Nothing. Meanwhile, the view count climbed. 400, 511, 603. Comments flooded in like sharks tasting blood. "She's not even that hot. Damn, poor guy. She belongs to the streets." I had to do something. I opened Instagram. Hit live. "Hey," I said to the camera, trying to smile. "So, some of you saw a video that was taken out of context." Tyler stood behind me, mouthing, "What are you doing?" I kept going. It was a private moment. It wasn't meant to be public. And I think airing this kind of stuff, especially without someone's consent, is way more toxic than anything you think you saw. The comments turned immediately. Gaslighting 101. No accountability. Just say you cheated. I ended the stream after 45 seconds. My hands were shaking. And then Max texted, "You called me cold. That was warm enough for 600 people. I didn't sleep that night. Tyler left, obviously. He didn't sign up for this level of insane, he muttered on the way out. He didn't even look back. By morning, the video was everywhere. Reddit, Twitter, TikTok reaction clips. Even someone's meme page had stitched it with a voiceover. When your pet cam catches more than just barking. I was everywhere. Not as a person, as a punchline. My boss called me into HR. Not because I broke company policy, but because clients were calling, asking if I was that girl from the pet cam video. "Take a week," she said, not unkindly. "Let things cool off." Except nothing was cooling. Max was doubling down. He posted another video, this time a compilation of emotionally distant moments. Him setting the table, him cooking, him folding my laundry, overlaid with my texts to Tyler. He doesn't even see me. He added a caption. "For the record, I folded her stupid lingerie too." People ate it up. Suddenly, I wasn't just a cheater. I was a narcissist, an ungrateful user, a manipulative, bored woman who blew up her life because she didn't get enough compliments. And the worst part is, they kind of had a point. My phone buzzed again. It was my mom. She hadn't called since the day Max and I moved in together. "I saw the video," she said, voice flat. I didn't say anything. "I hope he sues you for emotional damage." Click. I stared at the screen. Max hadn't just caught me. He was making sure everyone else saw it too. And the next post was a picture of our bedroom with the caption, "This isn't even the worst of it."
You know that sick feeling when you're being watched? Multiply it by 10,000, because that's how it felt walking into the grocery store 2 days later. It wasn't just in my head. I could tell by the way people looked at me. Too long, too fast, whispers behind hands. One woman even nudged her boyfriend and pointed at me, like I was some kind of viral animal escaped from its enclosure. That's what I had become. Not a person, not even a name, just the pet cam girl. And Max, he wasn't done. He posted again, this time a carousel of texts, screenshots from my phone. I recognized them immediately. They were from the backup I left open once on our shared laptop. I had no idea he'd accessed it, that he'd pulled every deleted thread between me and Tyler. He color-coded them like a fucking spreadsheet. Slide 1. I just wish Max looked at me like you do. Caption, wish granted. Slide 2. He's not a bad guy, he just feels beige. Caption, but you still lived in his house. Slide 3. A selfie of Tyler shirtless in my bed. Caption, guess who's not beige? The comments were brutal. Can't believe she blamed him for being distant. She should lose her job too. Tell me you're a narcissist without telling me. That night, I got drunk. Alone. I FaceTimed Max. He didn't answer. So I tried again. Still nothing. I sent a voice note. Congratulations, Max. You've officially made me the internet's favorite whore. Was that your plan, to win the breakup with the live stream? He replied 3 hours later. Nah, just figured the truth deserved a platform. The truth. Let's talk about that for a second. The truth is, I did feel unseen. The truth is, I did cheat. The truth is, Max was a good man, just not a present one. And yes, I handled it in the worst way possible. But did I deserve this? 1 million strangers dissecting my sex life? My face turned into a meme? My coworkers whispering when I walk by? Max didn't just expose me, he mobilized the public. He made me a hashtag. 3 days later, I got a message from Tyler. Just a thumbs up emoji. Nothing else. I stared at it for a long time. What the hell was that supposed to mean? Was he watching too? Lurking? Relieved it wasn't his face trending? I didn't reply. Instead, I opened Instagram and found Max's newest post. It was a video, not surveillance footage. A vlog. He was sitting in our old living room, sipping coffee, petting our dog, speaking calmly to the camera like some kind of divorce therapist. He said, "Hey, so a few people have asked if I regret how I handled it. The answer is no. I didn't scream, I didn't throw anything, I told the truth. Because for years, I was made to feel like my love wasn't enough, like I wasn't warm, wasn't exciting. I watched someone fall out of love with me and smile into another man's face." He paused, looked directly into the lens. If someone's cheating on you, you don't owe them silence, you owe yourself closure. The comments exploded. King behavior. Emotional maturity 100. She fumbled a husband, not a boyfriend. It had 1.8 million views in 24 hours. That was the moment I realized Max wasn't spiraling. He was rising. While I was ducking into bathrooms to cry at work, he was building a brand, a redemption arc, a platform. And the more polished he looked, the more grotesque I became. Then someone tagged me in a TikTok. A girl in a sparkly dress reenacting my affair with a stuffed animal and a pet cam. It was captioned, "When your emotional support dog becomes your emotional support documentary crew." And I swear to God, I almost threw my phone out the window. But the next tag, it hit even harder. A photo of Max with a new girl at a rooftop bar, and the comment that ended me. This one actually smiles at him. That photo, the rooftop one, it did something to me. Not because he had a new girl, but because he looked happy. Actually, genuinely, radiantly happy. The way I used to look in our old pictures. The way I hadn't felt in years. The way I hadn't let myself feel, not even with Tyler. Which is how I justified what came next. I called Tyler. "You're calling me?" he said. "After everything?" "I need to talk," I said. "Please?" Silence. Then, "Your place or mine?" And I hated how fast I said, "Yours." His apartment smelled like cologne and frozen pizza. It was smaller than I remembered. Or maybe I was just smaller now. Less self-righteous, less justified, less human. He handed me a drink. Bourbon. Straight. "I'm not here for that," I said. He raised an eyebrow. "You called me at 11 p.m., alone, crying? What did you think I'd assume?" I ignored that. "I saw Max with someone." "Oh," he said flatly. "So this is what that is? Jealousy?" "No," I snapped. "This is regret." Tyler laughed. Actually laughed. "You don't get to regret this. You chose this." I blink. And then I did what I knew I'd regret even more. I kissed him. It was messy, desperate, not passion, punishment. I wanted to feel something sharp, dirty, irreversible, something that said, "Fine, I'm the villain. Let me wear the fucking crown." I woke up in his bed at 4:27 a.m., fully dressed but completely destroyed. Tyler was asleep, peaceful, like none of this had ever touched him. I slipped out quietly, no note, no goodbye. I didn't even cry until I hit the elevator. Back home, I scrolled through Max's feed again. They'd soft-launched her. Her name was Becca, PR girl, blonde, yoga certified. She had 8,000 followers and a lifestyle grid full of smoothies, rooftop sunsets, and candlelit books. The anti-me. And the captions? "Healing starts when truth begins." Sometimes the heart knows better than the past. Soft places after hard seasons. I wanted to puke. I clicked into her story highlights. There they were, photos from the rooftop. Max smiling, her head on his shoulder, his hand resting on her thigh. And I knew this wasn't just rebound. It was strategy. He wasn't healing, he was branding his comeback. And I was the dead character in Act 1. I spent the next day in bed, blinds down, TV on mute, chewing my nails until they bled. Everywhere I looked, memes, comment sections, even reaction videos. I was being dissected, interrogated, judged. And you know what? They weren't entirely wrong. I had cheated. I had lied. I had shut Max out long before the kiss happened. But I had reasons, didn't I? He was distant, cold, a ghost in the same room. No one cared. Because a woman can be unhappy, lonely, emotionally neglected, but the second she cheats, she's the monster. No one asked, why was she starving in the first place? They just pointed at the crumbs and screamed, "Whore!" Then came the DMs. Not hate. Worse. Interviews. "Hi, Talia. We're doing a podcast episode on modern cheating culture and emotional gaslighting. Would love your side. Hey, I'm a freelance writer doing a piece on the pet cam generation. Want to chat?" I ignored them all. But then one came in from a verified account. A dating influencer. "Hi, Max's new girlfriend here. I just wanted to reach out woman to woman and say I'm rooting for your healing journey." I stared at the message. She had attached a photo of herself in a flowing dress. Captioned, "She chose chaos, I choose peace." And that's when I lost it. I screen recorded the DM, posted it to my story, wrote, "Nothing says peace like sliding into your boyfriend's ex's DMs for clout. You're not soft. You're strategic." I tagged her. Let it burn. Within an hour, it was everywhere. And Max?
He finally messaged me. Delete it. Now. Or I will.
I didn't delete it. I wanted him to come for me. I dared him to. I was done hiding, done apologizing. If I was going to be the villain, I might as well be the main one. But I underestimated Max. Again. It started with a countdown. On his Instagram story. 8 p.m. tonight. The whole truth. White text on a black background. Nothing else. I laughed when I first saw it. Thought it was petty. A bluff. It wasn't. At 8 p.m. sharp, he posted a reel. Not raw footage this time. Not texts. Not a weepy monologue. A presentation. I'm talking video editing, voiceover, background music, bullet points. The title? How to Spot a Narcissist Before She Destroys You. A case study. My face was the fucking thumbnail. I watched it 3 times. Not because I was confused, because I couldn't believe how good it was. He had cut together clips, old vacation videos, party footage, screenshots of me laughing at Tyler's text while Max cooked behind me, into this tight, brutal, polished indictment. Notice the shift in her tone around month 6. That's when the emotional withdrawal begins, but you won't know it yet. She'll still sleep next to you, still say she loves you. That's part of the game. He even annotated it like a fucking true crime documentary. Pauses, zoom-ins, timelines. At one point, he played our engagement video side by side with pet cam footage of me texting Tyler under the dinner table. Look closely. Her smile is identical. That's how you know it's not real. By the end, I was shaking. Not from guilt. From humiliation. Because he didn't just drag me. He dissected me. And he knew exactly where to cut. Within an hour, the video hit 500,000 views. By midnight, 1.3 million. Comments poured in. This is why I record everything now. This deserves an Emmy. Bro healed and turned into David Attenborough. Becca shared it with a caption, "Truth is never cruel. It's clarifying." I wanted to scream. But the thing that gutted me the most? My best friend liked the post. No DM, no warning, just a silent little double tap under my funeral. That week, everything collapsed. I lost 3 clients at work. Reputation management issues. A podcast I was supposed to appear on as a relationship coach canceled. Even my goddamn yoga studio refunded me. Max hadn't just exposed me, he deplatformed me, which would have been survivable if it ended there. But of course, it didn't. 3 days later, I woke up to 50 missed messages. Apparently, Max had gone live. Again. Except this time, he wasn't alone. He was with Tyler, and they were laughing, together, on camera, like old friends reunited. Like all of this had been a setup from the start. I clicked the replay. Max was reading messages out loud, sipping a beer. Tyler sat beside him, smirking. So, tell them, man, when did it start? When did she start texting you? Tyler shrugged. About 3 months before she kissed me. Honestly, I thought it was a test, like she was trying to see if I'd take the bait. And you did? Bro, she practically begged me to. Max turned to the camera. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your girl boss, your relationship coach, your healing era icon. The comments exploded. Plot twist of the year. They teamed up. I'm dead. This is better than Netflix. They toasted to me, to the wreckage, to my fucking downfall. And I sat in bed, watching it all happen in real time. too stunned to cry, too broken to move, too public to breathe.
I stopped leaving my apartment. Not because I didn't want to, because I couldn't. Everywhere I went, I felt watched, like someone might recognize me, say something, or worse, record me. I once heard two teenagers whispering behind me in a coffee shop. One of them said, "Is that her?" I left my latte, walked out, and never came back. My world had shrunk to 4 walls and Wi-Fi, and every time I opened my phone, I regretted it. Because the content kept coming. Reaction videos, reenactments, voiceovers using my old Instagram reels, even a remix of Max's case study video set to trap music. My face, my voice, my shame turned into entertainment. Once I even saw a TikTok filter called "Would You Cheat on Max?" with a green-screened photo of him looking heartbroken. People were laughing. At me. At my pain. And the worst part? Max wasn't stopping them. The first panic attack hit during a Zoom meeting. 1 second, I was presenting analytics for a new client. The next, I was gasping like I'd been punched in the chest. I closed my laptop, curled into a ball on the floor, and whispered, "I'm sorry," to no one for 20 straight minutes. After that, I went silent. No posts, no stories, no DMs. I deleted every photo of Max, archived every reel, shut down comments on everything. I even tried messaging Tyler once, just to ask, "Why did you do that?" He left me on red. I didn't eat much. Didn't sleep either. The nights were the worst. That's when the DMs came. The nasty ones. The cruelest ones. Some from men who offered redemption. Others who told me I deserved to be alone forever. One guy sent a voice message just to say, "If I ever see you, I'll spit in your face." I wish I could say I blocked him. I didn't. I just let it sit there. Proof that I mattered to someone, even if it was hate. Then came the real-world consequences. HR called. "We've received some complaints," they said, "about your online presence." I knew what was coming, but hearing it still hurt. "We're going to pause your contracts pending further review." In other words, you're fired, just politely. I'd built my whole brand around trust, advice, relationships. Now I was the punchline of them all. The relationship coach who couldn't keep her own. The empowered woman who got exposed by a fucking dog camera. I used to write posts about boundaries. Now I was living one, enforced by the entire fucking internet. My mom called once. "Sweetheart, have you eaten today?" I wanted to lie, but all I said was, "No one believes me anymore." Silence. Then, "You don't need them to believe you. You need you to believe you." But I didn't. Not really. Because what if they were right? What if I was just selfish, manipulative, a narcissist with a ring light? What if Max had been the hero all along, and I was just the tragic B story? One night, I opened his page again. He'd posted something new, a slow motion reel of him and Becca at a farmer's market. Laughing, dancing with their dog, buying fresh flowers. And the caption? "Some chapters don't end, they evolve." I dropped my phone, sank to the kitchen floor, and sobbed like I hadn't since childhood. Not because I missed him, but because I realized something worse. He'd healed. He'd moved on, while I was still trying to hit undo, still begging the past to be less permanent. But it was too late. The story had already been written.
And I was no longer the narrator. I was just a character he'd already outgrown.
The email hit my inbox at 10:42 a.m. Subject line, feature request, L Digital. For half a second, my heart fluttered. Was someone finally offering me a chance to speak? I opened it and immediately wished I hadn't. Hi, Talia. We're doing a feature piece on digital narcissism and the fall of influencer culture. Max Reed has agreed to an exclusive interview. We'd like to offer you the opportunity to contribute a response for balance. The title? I loved a narcissist. Now I love myself. Please confirm your statement by end of day. My mouth went dry. This wasn't a second chance. This was the fucking eulogy. The article dropped 3 days later. I didn't open it. I didn't have to. It was everywhere. The quote pulled for social: "She built a following on self-love, but I watched her destroy herself and call it empowerment." My face, again, was the cover image. Only this time, it wasn't a freeze frame or meme. It was a full-blown press photo, black and white. Under the headline, "The Pet Cam Betrayal, a Case Study in Modern Deceit." He'd done it. He'd taken everything I was, brand, narrative, voice, and repackaged it as a cautionary tale. And the world ate it up. Even people who didn't know the full story had opinions. A girl on TikTok. There's just something off about her energy. Like, even in the apology video, it felt curated. Another. It's always the women who call men emotionally unavailable that turn out to be the real abusers. They weren't talking about a story anymore. They were talking about me. As a symbol, as a warning, as content. And in a weird way, that was the real betrayal. Not the cheating, not the pet cam, not even Tyler. It was that Max had won the narrative war. He took the most humiliating thing that ever happened to him and turned it into a fucking brand. And I didn't even own my name anymore. The last time I saw him was completely accidental. I was coming out of CVS, hood up, no makeup, hoping not to be seen. And there he was, crossing the street, Becca on his arm, laughing. He looked right at me, didn't flinch, didn't pause, just nodded, like we were two actors who'd finished a scene. And he was already on to the next show. I don't post anymore. No stories, no reels, no brand deals, no podcasts. I deleted every app except Notes, where I write drafts I'll never publish. I go to therapy, I journal, I cook weird meals at midnight. Sometimes I take walks without my phone just to remember who I was before the Wi-Fi. People still DM me sometimes, mostly strangers. Some hateful, some curious. But every once in a while, one hits a nerve. Like this one last week. "I know you're not perfect, but I wish they let you be a person instead of a plot twist." I didn't reply. But I kept it. Because that's all I am now. A twist someone else wrote, in a story I didn't get to finish.